there are two great resources which you need to know about as we go on the journey of learning how to do layout to create our web pages. The first one is learnlayout.com. So this is not a perfect resource, but it's as good as it gets. This is the best one in the world, and it's flawed. But it presents a really good summary of the different properties that we use to do layout. And so max width, margin, zero auto, the box model, box sizing, position, float, clear, right? Percent width, media queries, inline block, column, flexbox. So it even talks about frameworks. So we won't use all this, but we're going to be looking at some of this, and it's just a good resource. And for Flexbox, this is not the best resource. For Flexbox, you want to go to CSS Tricks Flexbox. So if you just Google that, CSS Tricks Flexbox, and let me just give you the visual, CSS Tricks Flexbox. If I just Google that, I'll get a complete guide to Flexbox, CSS Tricks. And so this is the other great resource, which when we learn Flexbox, and we're going to get there in the next section, when we learn Flexbox, we are going to understand what's going on here completely and thoroughly. And yeah, great resource. So those are the two great resources for learning layout, and we'll be using them as we learn layout. So then we have the next thing is a box model reminder. Everything on the web page is a box. We saw that in the last video. So I'm not going to open up this file, but we have that file here in our course files, which is just a reminder of the box model. And it's basically that image of the box model. And then we have the box sizing border box. And so I just included those files. These are the same files which we had right up here, wherever, right there. Those are the same files from right here, right? Padding and border. So the box sizing border box, as we change the size of padding or border, if we have box sizing border box and we've set the width on our element, then the width does not change. It just jams the content inwards, right? So I added padding. The content, the space the content was taking up shrunk, and then the padding got put in there, but it kept the width of my element the same. That's box sizing border box, and it keeps the padding and the border from increasing the size, the width of your element or the height of your element. So here is same deal. And so no border, and then I add border, the element got bigger. No border, and I have box sizing border box, and then I add border, the size of the element stays the same because I've set my width to be the same. Cool. So that's just box sizing border box. And then rounding and centering, border radius property, right? That is rounds the corners. We know that already. And then just remember the trouble for this is applied to top right, bottom left, or top right, bottom left. So this is review. And that's this part, the review part. And then top and bottom, right and left. And margin, the margin property, so margin zero auto, that's for the top and bottom, that one. And the right and left, this one, automatically make my width on the right and left equal. So that's margin zero auto. Here you could also do margin 20 pix auto. So a lot of people just don't think about margin zero auto. They're like, oh, margin zero auto is that magic thing I put in and center stuff. I don't know how it works. Well, now you do know how it works. A lot of other people, that's just like their attitude. It's like, well, no, look, this is top and bottom margin. This is right and left margin. Automatically make the widths equal. They don't understand that, well, I could change the top and bottom margin and make it, 20 pixels on the top and bottom, and it still works. So that's layout resources, and then a review of the fundamental concepts that you have to understand when we start learning about layout. The box model, box sizing border box, rounding and centering, these are some of the fundamentals. In the next video, we're going to take a look at the display property, and we're going to review some of that stuff, and then we're going to see some new files, right? So I'm going to show you some new files with some new examples, which are cool, just to illustrate the different things that the display property could do. That's coming in the next video.